Hey everybody, today I'd like to talk about getting more out of your comping, more out of voicings that you already know by the way of contrary motion in your comping. So let me just show you some chords here. We can start off with a minor 2-5 in D minor. Why not? So this is D minor 7. Right now it's a drop 3 voicing. If you take the note on the top string and move it to the bottom string, you get a drop 2 voicing. Doesn't really matter, it's just a different way to play D minor 7. But what we're going to be focusing on in this is we're going to start with the inner 2 voicings, what's called the tritone of each chord. So that's a 2-5-1 in minor, in D minor. So what we're going to do is try and get some contrary motion in the voices of these voicings, voices of the voicings, to make this a little bit more interesting, because this can be fine depending on the context, but in a tune like a lot of tunes that have commonly repeated 2-5-1s like Alone Together or something, where you're kind of often coming back to this, it's nice to have some variations and learning. You know, if you want to expand your comping vocabulary, just saying, oh, I'll learn some new voicings is not always the most effective way to do it, because if you don't know how to put them into context or make them sound good in a transition, then it's kind of not worth all that much. So we're just going to start with this minor 2-5 with these 2 voices and see if we can get some contrary motion in to make it more interesting. So the first thing we can do is the bottom voice went up there. See if we can. So there we added the second string. Obviously that expands the voicing out, gives you contrary motion. What about if we add another note on this top string? So we start here. This is the E minor 11th. It's interesting. Sounds good. What if we add a flat 9 to the A7? D minor 6, that's interesting. That gives us a nice chromatic melody. Let's see what else we got here. Obviously go back to the D minor 7. You could also change the root there, or the bass note, sorry. That gives you a nice little movement there. Let's start with the E minor 7 flat 5. And you can either go up or down with that. Lots of options there. How about if we change the A7 again and do a sharp 9? Sharp 9 is there. That's interesting. And then we can either take that to the D minor, or we can take that up to the bottom string now. Gives you a nice melody. You can also do. Why don't we add the bottom string now? That's cool. The D minor 9, that's cool. See, all these different voicings are just coming from this kind of basic 2-5-1 that we're adding different notes to, and extensions or different chord tones to get some nice contrary motion. So where were we? We were here. And then we can do the sharp 9 with the A7. If we had both the sharp 9 and the flat 13, that's interesting. And then what kind of cool D minor could we do here? Oh, we could do something like this. That's nice. I actually really like that one, even though it's very simple. Here's lots of I don't think I've ever really played exactly this voicing before. But that's interesting. Actually, no, I'm lying. I played it in a different key, I just remember now. But anyway, it doesn't matter. See, these are all just interesting ways to get contrary motion in your lines. You do that, and if you add like an extra little melody in there, just by adding a little movement in each chord, you can really add some interesting stuff. Oh, that's nice. So these are, let me tilt back to my face. These are all just interesting ways, and I'm sure like this the voicing again. I can't remember ever really playing that before, but like why not? That's beautiful. So there's lots of things that you can kind of hunt around and find without having to learn new voicings, which is what you're doing. But like you're learning them in context of what you already know instead of randomly looking up a new voicing from a book or something. So so hopefully you can get some mileage out of that. If you're interested about hearing more, you can go to my website, jazz-hack.com. There you can learn about both more about chords and also about soloing, improvising over commonly played jazz standards. There's lots of great information there. Lots of it's for free. So go check it out, and happy jamming.